What's up, Fever Nation? YouTube. Great game yesterday. Great game yesterday. Now, some said it wasn't their best game, and by and large, I would agree with that to a degree. But it was a great game. To play games without your superstar point guard and get the results that they're getting. This Fever had too many turnovers yesterday. To have that many turnovers and still get productivity out of your defensive sets and your offensive sets, I thought was phenomenal. It gives this team a lot to look forward to. Now, why is this team playing the way they are? There are times in life where the moment chooses you and where you choose the moment. This season began with this foolishness with Chicago and Reese and all of that nonsense that went on. We all know about that. I'm not going to belabor the point again. And it seemed as though the Engelbert front office, the league, and the officiating was in question. Now it seems like the tides have turned. Since bringing on Aari McDonald, it has brought to the table something that couldn't be done through even their superstar point guard, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark brought the fire. She brought the want to. Caitlin Clark, at the end of the day, she just wants to win. And I admire her for that. But what Aari McDonald brought to the table was a hunger, a desire, and a thirst to compete. Now you see people on the roster competing for positions now. Whereas before, I'm not saying they were comfortable, or complacent, but it appears that the way she has played has sparked a fire in some of these players. And it is a fire that I don't know if it could have been done without her presence in the locker room and on the floor. She came in right away and is productive, showing that if you have some want to about yourself, when you go from the couch to the floor of a WNBA arena or an NBA arena, WNBA game, and able to produce, it is a beautiful thing to see. And I think the players that are benefiting from this the most are the people that were the role players. It seems like your role players now, they're not, I won't say they're becoming stars, but they're definitely contributing in such a way that is getting people's attention. A couple of quick things I want to point out that I noticed in the team: the camaraderie, the cohesiveness, and the character. Let's start with camaraderie. Now, I notice when their teammates fall to the ground, how many of them rush over to get them up off the floor. That is, to me, that's when you know a team is growing as a team. They're coming together as a unit, because when one falls, we all fall. So let's get over there and pick them up. And they did that. I love to see that. That speaks volumes of what being a part of a team is. Okay? It speaks volumes. And when you know that if you go hard to the floor and your teammates are right there, when you look up, there your teammates are to pick you up and say, "Hey, good job. You know, let's all support one another like this." It's a beautiful thing to see. The camaraderie. They are supporting one another. One person's success is every person's success. And when you have that vibe in a locker room, where it's about selflessness and not selfishness, it can change the fate of a season. I did a video called "The Fate of the Fever," in which I was pointing out, since the acquisition of Aari McDonald, it has changed the outlook on the Fever. Right now, people are wondering without Caitlin Clark. Now, don't get it twisted. Now, when the superstar comes, when Caitlin Clark comes back, it's gonna take it to an atmospheric level. Okay, it's gonna take this team to an atmospheric level if they understand how to bring her back into this equation. Because the team now, I want to say this in a good way. They don't need to rely on her as much as they did, because now they see if they rely on the system that Coach White has in place, offensively and defensively, you don't have to rely as much on your superstar. And that bodes well for long-term viability in terms of health for this team. Everybody stays healthy when everybody's contributing. And finally, let's talk about character. I don't know if the Fever had an identity when they started the season. You know, at some point during the season, teams start to wonder who they are. Do we have an identity? What is our identity? What is our calling card? Well, since McDonald has been there, and I'm saying this because I'm hearing about all of these hardship cases and what the Fever need to do to keep her on the roster. What she has brought to this team, it can't be measured. It can't be measured. And this is the very fight, the very desire, the very character that's going to take this team deep into the playoffs, possibly all the way to the final game. Okay? That's what they have now. Because see, when you have character, now when I look at this roster, or I look at this team, did you see the defensive rotations yesterday that still Lexi Hull got early in the game, just rotating to the open player? They're starting to understand the system. Now, I don't know if they had it before McDonald got there. We do know now for sure, since she's been there, we're starting to see the results of practice in a live game situation. Did you see the way they were moving the ball around offensively? Yes, the ball movement was superb yesterday. Now you can say, oh, they were just playing Chicago Sky. Teams are looking at, I don't care if it was the Chicago Sky. They play the Atlanta Dream next, and let's see how that shakes out versus the Atlanta Dream. Because teams are looking at this roster now, and they're saying, wow, you know, they could be better without Clark. Let's not get it twisted now. Don't go off the deep end. You know, put the drink down. Back away from the drugs. When Caitlin Clark comes back, as I stated earlier, it's going to take this team to another level. It's going to take them to another level. But the difference is she can be a distributor and a facilitator in her own right, as she does anyway. This time she doesn't do. They not necessarily need the 30 or 40 point night game. Now, those games may be necessary in some situations, but at least she knows they don't have to have that from her, which bodes well. Back to character. This team is looking good. I just hope as the camaraderie and the cohesiveness continues to develop, that in these games and down the stretch, because they've been winning pretty convincingly in the last couple of games. They've been putting teams away. Now you can say, well, when I thought about this game in Chicago, I was thinking without Clark, I don't think they're going to beat them by 30 again. I just don't see that happening. But again, 27, they came close to equaling the point spread of when Clark was there. So they have a lot to look forward to. As I stated, it's not as bad as it looks, Fever Nation. And it looks even better now. They're at 500 going into the Atlanta Dream game, and they're coming into that game with a lot of confidence. A lot of confidence. The Dream is trying to figure out, hey, we have to guard everybody. We just can't focus on one player. They have to defend every person on this roster. And let's see how that shakes out. I'm sitting at 812 subscribers, and I want to thank all of you who made this journey possible for me. I get a lot of enjoyment out of this because I get to talk about the thing I like most, which are sports and competing and watching good teams become better teams and grow and develop a nucleus and an idea and an identity and a character. And I love to see the cohesiveness and the camaraderie as the season progresses further and further. You have two of your best players over there cheerleading on the sideline. And it's a beautiful thing to see. They're watching their teammates grow and mature while they're over there healing. It's a great thing to see. Like I said, I'm sitting at 812. Help me get to 1,000. That's the immediate goal. Let's get to 1,000. subscribers. And I'll be most appreciative for that opportunity. That's all I have for you right now. Buckle up. It may be a bumpy ride, but if they keep sticking together like they are, they're going to come out just fine. I'm out.
Van Lith defending up top, tries to work around the screen. McDonald flips it over, ball movement, hole in the corner. Oh, the passing is contagious for the Fever.